Today I'm going to show you how I created a 240 volt electrical connection for the EV charger for my 2017 Smart 42 electric drive. And here's where we plug the car in. Got a plug outlet over there. Plug it in here. Got the ED flashing in green, meaning it's charging. One happy family. With the original charger, the car was sure to charge, but was a little bit slow. I don't have that much patience. So I used this 240 volt amp charger and plugged it into the 240 volt connector for my stove that's in my basement. That worked out pretty good with the 25-foot cord, but my wife did not like me leaving the door open while I ran the extension out the door into my car. So I had to come up with something better. So I decided I was going to try to create an extension for my dryer range connection that I could run out to my car, out through the ceiling and out the wall, then make a connection on the outside of the wall. So I started out with this 1350 electrical range connection that I'm going to use to wire the wires that I would later put through the ceiling. This range connector has a 6-foot wire that I made a custom hole through the wall to run in through where the electrical panel is, but I also fitted a cover on it to make it look custom fit going through the wall. This is what the cord looked like on the other side of that wall I was telling you about. And since it's in my basement, there's no insulation for me to have to worry about at that point. That's why I intentionally got past that point before I made my entrance into the wall. I gave myself plenty of room to work with so I can wire my other wire that I was going to lead to these 4-piece 4-wire connector. This is where it's going to be helpful that you're at least a little familiar with electrical connections. This cord has 4 wires that's compatible with the wires in the wire that I'm going to join it to. The only colors that are the same was black to black, red to red, and green in this case is ground. So I hooked it up to the copper ground wire, and then the white common wire, I hooked it up to the common wire in the line. I first taped each wire off separately so they won't make contact with any other wire in the bundle. And then I took more wire and wrapped up the whole assembly to have one continuous looking wire, even though you know there's 4 inside. I found a suitable location in my outer wall of my basement that would go out so I could run the power to the outside. And then I ran the cord from where my electrical box was all the way through my drop ceiling onto that wall and to the outside. This is what it looks like on the outside of the wall when I ran the cord outside. It looks like I bought the right size, right length of cord, which was 50 feet to suit my needs. And just for those that don't know what I'm talking about, this cord was what they call a 10-4, which means it's a 10 gauge wire with 4 wires in the bundle. Once I was sure where I was going to mount the box, which should be above and not below, I cut the cord off so I have some room to work. I actually found this RV connection in Lowe's as well, which is made for an RV connection, and this one just happened to be a 1350, which is the right kind of connector that I needed for my EV charger. I made connections inside the box to the branded connections that was marked on the connector so you won't get them mixed up. I grounded the green wire to the ground wire in the box. Once the box is properly in place, all we have to do is plug the charger in and just let it hang. You can always secure it with a nail against the back side of what I did. It has a little mounting nail in the back. Just put the screw in the wall and hop that thing onto the nail. So then there you have it. It's all together and is ready to be used as a charger. So I put it right where I put my car, and as you can see, once I plugged it in, you can see that I do have, it's kind of hard to tell here, but a 32 amp connection, which did not trip any circuit breakers, and I'm really happy with the way it works. Now I can use this to charge my car, and I can go from 0 to full in about 2 hours and 20 minutes. In addition to all of this other work, I need to make my wife happy too with what I did. So what I did was I went and bought a splitter for 1350 wire that I could be able to use the connection I have now, the extension I have going to my EV charger, and she'll still be able to use the oven in our basement. So I got this splitter, installed it, and plugged both of them into this device. I hid the other part of this wire behind the oven. Now all you see is one wire running out that goes over to my connection, and it looks nice and neat. And of course, I won't use the charger and use the oven at the same time. So I'll make sure the car is not plugged in when my wife is using the oven. And there you have it. One happy camper with a nice outside location to plug in the Smart for 2 electric drive. So it's always simpler to come home. Each time I come home, I plug the charger in and I always have a full charge, and it's always pretty darn quick. Thanks for watching.